January 23rd, 2008. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 41.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Previously on Diehard Gamer Radio.
The Penguin was about to kill the Diehard Gamer Group.
Robin, I have a plan, Robin.
You'll never get away from me. You're going to be playing Daikatana for the rest of your life.
Cheapers, Batman.
Holy penguin death.
March of the Penguins has all these Burgess Meredith clones.
Cut to a scene of Batman and Robin climbing a building.
Well,
slowly.
Yeah. Dick Clark comes out of the window. What are you guys doing?
As long as I don't have to watch the Meet the Spartans trailer again.
Get off my floor, I might kick you.
Well, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and with me I have Brian, John, and Steve.
Point us out with your finger again. That was exciting.
And do it wrong again. That was also an extra bonus.
I got all your names
Got all the
in
names
there.
right. You just didn't point to the right people when you were saying them.
I was.
Oh, it's a thought that counts.
I was adjusting the
hey,
mixer.
you, whatever your name is, you're here. Thank you.
All right.
Well, stop trying to make pizza dough and get on with the podcast.
It's not that kind of mixer. Although if I could mix audio on it, that would be very interesting.
You just need to go MacGyver on it.
Well, I think it's kind of funny. I've noticed on these DJ setups that run just off CDs now, they still have the little turntable things that you can actually match the beat from the different ones, using the same technique as you did with vinyl. It's very strange.
That's their instrument, right?
I guess so.
You'd still expect an electric guitar to look like a guitar, right?
Yeah,
What?
I guess.
Yeah.
What is this vinyl thing you talk about, Steve? I've never heard of it.
Apparently vinyl's making a comeback.
Oh, hell yeah.
As well as cylinder discs.
Did you see the new Radiohead box set? Actually comes with 2 LPs and 2 CDs.
Yeah, it seems to be like a thing. It's like, for some reason, vinyl's just,
What's weird is
something
they're actually
people are
square.
putting out
They
now.
cut off the round edges of it. It's kind of a weird looking.
That's because they know people aren't going to play it.
They don't have anything to play out.
No, they had to make it fit inside the box.
No, they have a USB thing for it now.
I still got to buy one. I didn't do it when I had the chance, and now I got to pay another 10 or 20 on eBay to get it. So
I was noticing this. We're watching. What are we watching here?
Rambo 2, actually.
And the Asian chick there is actually the chick who played Catherine Sakai on Babylon 5.
Yeah, she was also in I think one of the Karate Kids.
She wasn't.
Rambo
pretty
might
sure
have
she
been.
wasn't.
I thought it was the second one.
No, it was Tamlin Tomita or whatever her name was.
Yeah, right. Well, she's a well-known Asian American actress, which you've probably seen in multiple movies.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome back to
walking
the
around like Southeast Asia, and she's Korean.
I know.
welcome back to IMDb bullshit hour.
Or is she Korean or she's Japanese? I can't forget. I can't remember.
She's Japanese.
Here's a question for you, Steve. Does it
Real loose
matter?
Japanese.
Well, apparently in this movie, no. Apparently this movie, they've moved to a different hemisphere with their ethnicity. So.
Ah, all right. Well, let us start with our first gaming news. Street Fighter 4 to get arcade release.
Get an arcade
Asian.
release before it gets a home console release?
Or so I'm told. What are we talking about?
So we
Yeah, it'll be there, because that's a great beta test platform.
Oh, Street
the
Fighter.
arcade.
Yeah,
4.
the arcade is where it started, so why not test it there?
Yeah, they can test it
first?
on the worst monitor ever, which seems to be the arcade thing. It's like, we're going to get the newest, greatest game and put it on the shittiest monitor. It has
Fighter 5
Wizard
was pretty.
That was the one with the Wizard of War burned in on it already.
Warzard.
No, it had to be like a 1980 game where it had the same image on it all the time.
Centipede.
Yeah,
My mom's Centipede actually has some burn-in. It's kind of funny.
You
wouldn't think those little shrooms would really burn in because they're in such different patterns, but sooner or later.
I suppose it won't matter too much anyway, because it's still going to be out in Japan for a year before we get it, so it's not like it's actually going to add any lead
Plus,
time.
it'll go through 3 or 4 beta revisions before they actually release it on console, so it's all the better for the consoler.
Well,
Not to be consoling, but...
yeah, Well, that's pretty bad, but the fact that you mentioned that, now I'm thinking, Super Street Fighter 4 Turbo Championship Edition,
Alpha Plus.
EX.
Alpha Plus,
Yeah, get ready to deal with Street Fighter 4 for the next decade.
Yeah. So next up, Wii Fit sells over 1 million in Japan. I'm not
only
quite
fitting.
sure why.
Most exercise most Japanese people get.
Well, their houses are really small. They can't really do much. So
How does the Wii Fit even fit in it?
It's fitting. I mean, it's
They
tiny,
store the futon out in the hallway while they're playing.
Well,
Actually,
maybe
they
this
pack it
way
up and
they'll,
put it in
they'll
the
actually.
closet, if I remember correctly.
And I could see this. People need some help learning how to do push-ups. They're kind of hard, tricky.
And those Japanese,
hard to
they're
work out.
such go-getters. They'll just get into whatever's put in front of them.
So they're like 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
All right, well, we won't get any complaints on that one.
Lots and lots.
So what is
of money.
the Shiny Spoon game coming out for the Wii?
The
No,
pots
it's
and pans
version
game.
3 of the shiny spoon.
The
game.
spoon is
Yeah.
not a spoon.
Yes. So
It's a Wii.
So next up, and this is a rumor, WiiWare launching in March. This is original games for Toei.
That's assuming they got the 300-pound plus acceptable platform to use.
What?
I thought I read something about them having to upgrade the platform for the more obese Americans.
Oh, well, there was
Oh,
the
for
Wii
the
Fit
Wii-
thing where it had the disclaimer on the bottom that it only supported like 300 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
Which, at least it wasn't like it only supports 150 or something. It'd be like, oh.
I mean, who is going to be over 300 pounds in Japan other than sumo wrestlers?
Well, there's every once in a while
Otaku?
there's one of those contestants on MXC where you're like, are you really Japanese? You're not like Polynesian or something?
Anyways, back to WiiWare. Because I diverted us so I can bring us back safely. WiiWare.
Yeah, I think they call them cock socks.
What?
Once again, we are diverted.
Because you wear them on your Wii.
And you need to secure them with a cock ring.
Entirely
French
possible.
tickler, as they call it overseas.
One day we will actually get back on topic. I don't know when that day
And
will
that
be.
day, my friends, is coming soon. And there will be a revolution. Oui, oui.
But what do we put in the guillotine?
Le PS3.
And then everybody bags on the PS3.
It's the new Wii.
Yeah, the Wii is in France going, let them play Warhawk.
Let them play the Phantom console.
Let them have cheesecake.
That game hasn't come out yet. Moving on.
Anyways, yeah, WiiWare would be nice. I'd like to see some actual created games that are...
Well, I think they've only. I don't think they've announced any titles or anything. I know Hudson's working on something.
There's some companies claiming they're working on stuff out there on the side, and some people even claiming. I mean, it's just a matter of getting the hardware and doing it. I mean,
It
Just
can't.
so
How hard
long
can
as
it
they
be?
aren't 16-bit.
well... We're not going to see miracles here, but I mean, Xbox Live has really done well.
Well-
Wii would be stupid not to do it soon and do
Although-
something and make it available.
They have to be doing a size requirement on the WiiWare stuff. Because there's half a gig internal storage on the thing?
Yeah, it's not going to be hard with the graphic limitations they have anyways, so...
Yeah. So I bet it's probably going to be around that same 50 meg limit that Arcade used to have.
Okay. Well, next up, speaking about Xbox Live issue. The outage is due to server strain.
Quote, unquote.
Class action lawsuit pending, which...
By 3 Texans.
Yeah, what are they suing for, like $5 million? No, I'm not making that up.
Well, they're from Texas, so they have to do everything big.
I want to see what their damages claim is.
We were out of Xbox Live for a
Emotional
week.
pain.
I wasn't able to call anybody a faggot for hours.
Can you believe how hard that was? I would have kicked their ass with Ryu.
Yeah, I could actually see that. That sounds like a pretty good case there, John.
Crazy Texans.
I mean, maybe if you pay by the month, so people are upset about losing their $2-3 worth of playtime, whatever.
Yeah, but now they get Undertow for free. Ooh.
Yeah, well, like the class action lawsuit's really going to work out for everybody. Even if they win, lawyers get $4.5 million, and everybody gets 50 cents in the mail.
And they won't see that for like 4 or 5 years until the appeals run out. Oh my God.
Yeah, I did like on Major.
Maybe they're just mad they really didn't get Yars for free.
Oh yeah.
I'd go with that.
Yeah, Major
American.
Yeah, Major Nelson couldn't make any comments on the impending lawsuit, which I thought was pretty funny. But
I'm the only one that whenever someone talks about Major Nelson, I think of Mike Nelson.
Yeah, I do too.
he's going to start riffing Xbox Live arcade games.
Right. That'd be a good side business. You pay an extra 100 points to get the commentary track.
Yeah, someone can make fun of you in real time over Xbox Live. Also known as voice chat. So, next up. Star Wars characters playable in Soul Calibur 4. I have no opinion of that because my midichlorian count is very low.
Well, but I don't get... So Darth Vader's on the PS3 version, Yoda's on the 360 version, so you can't play Darth Vader versus Yoda.
That's what I was saying, man. It's like a rip.
Well, I mean, seriously.
You want to put the two together.
Have they so run out of things to actually add to Soul Calibur that now it's Star Wars?
It was only a matter of time.
Hey, Steve?
What?
Would you rather have Yoda or Kalik? Because Kalik has not been announced yet.
I don't think that this is an either-or proposition.
Well, on the plus side, there's also downloadable content, so it's not impossible that you won't eventually get the other character as a downloadable character.
It's just,
stupid?
Yeah. That's what I say.
They're both better choices than Zelda, however.
Well, they are.
Well, Zelda actually fits in a little better than, say,
Well, Darth Vader. I mean, granted, Darth Vader should really be on the 360 version. It is Microsoft, after all.
Yeah, I know. I think they went with color system, actually.
What?
PS3 being black, so they get Darth Vader.
That's racist.
And Yoda's
not
white.
in the Star Wars universe.
I just figure that, I don't know.
Yoda's midichlorian
for the
count was probably
PS3,
higher.
they should have something that, you should have to fight the Millennium Falcon or something. Something big and bulky and unwieldy that only works once in a while. I don't know.
Okay, that was a stretch.
How about they just, make up original characters that fit in their fucking game universe?
Well, they have done that. It's called Masters of Terras Kazi, and it sucked.
I meant for the Soul Calibur folks.
Oh, wow.
Well, this is a game
too.
universe where people can get hit with swords repeatedly and not die.
Yeah, they should have brought Spawn back again, because that really fit.
No, they should have just brought old Namco franchise characters back.
After the Link
Pac-Man?
and Spawn, it can't really get much worse.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking like Ishtar and Wonder Momo, some of the more obscure characters.
Right. Yeah, I restate. Can I get Soul Calibur 1 again?
Yeah.
You mean Soul Edge?
No.
That's
I
Soul
mean
Blade.
Soul Calibur 1.
I did like... I like Soul Blade.
Steve is putting away crackers. He's doing Foley for the podcast.
He's packing crackers. Watch out, people. All right, stop squeezing
The
crackers
podcast has
and put
been
them away.
trapped in bubble pack for... We've escaped from our bubble pack prison.
I just noticed the Rambo we're watching is actually in Spanish. Which we didn't know because it's muted.
What's on Univision?
That's rather hilarious.
What's on
actually.
What's on Univision? Not a hot Spanish game show. That is not what is on Univision right now.
I do firmly believe there's a minimum cup size requirement for Spanish
I
television.
really do. I really think that is true.
And what is that?
I think
size?
they get implants at
Large,
the age of
very
like 10.
large.
I'm starting to wonder.
Um,
All I know is I don't care what they're saying, but some of those Spanish game shows are hilarious. And I love to watch the women just jump up and down.
Well, I think it'd be less hilarious if you actually understood what they were talking about.
I don't
Entirely
think so.
possible.
I
It's like
really
one of
think
those
it's
things
that
like-
silly.
Well, it's like the difference
it's
between
ingrained in their
like
culture.
MXC and Ninja Warrior.
I think it's
You know,
more
like
MXC.
Ninja Warrior. Well, I mean, like Ninja Warrior, they actually do the real translation.
Yeah.
And so you're like, wow, this is incredibly boring after the first couple times. MXC, it's like, I don't know what they're really saying, but This is really freaking funny.
Have you the MXC DVDs actually have original episodes of Takeshi's Castle subtitled?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's
Boring.
really boring.
They're boring as hell.
Ninja Warrior is actually not boring. It's decently okay, but you're watching it
but
for
you're
the
not
action.
watching it for the dialogue. You're watching
Yeah,
it,
you're watching it for the action.
to see someone's spine turn into powder.
It's okay. We got American Gladiator back now. We don't need to
jeez.
import our.
Oh yeah, I'm
Shows
coming
of
for the
physical pain.
Hulkinator. I think that show would be 10 times better if they bought Macho Man Randy Savage on for a couple like cameos, you know.
Yeah, but then the show would be 3 hours long because he'd be trying to say one sentence.
Ooh, that one just snapped into a Slim Jim.
Right.
All right.
What are we on here? We got some sort of acronyms.
Yeah. So just some dates for some upcoming shows. As I try not to
Hope
mess
this sounds
up
exciting. Let me open another beer.
GDC. Let's see. Gross domestic country is 21808.
Yes.
No, it's the I made me forget it.
It's just that easy,
Developers
The
Conference.
game doo-doo collector.
Daikatana and Sewer Shark will make their appearances there. No, it's the Game Developers Conference.
218 to 222.
Yes.
This year. And then we got Total Gamers, seriously.
It's the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, that too.
The transgender gender show.
Wow, you're kind of getting ahead on that date, aren't you? Like October? Good God, man.
It was,
Well, I should hope that GDC was announced earlier than this.
well, also TGS 10908 to 101208. That means
My BFF.
that the E for All Expo will probably be like, 101308 or something,
Well, yes.
something stupid.
Yes.
Why don't you announce the PA Expo while you're at it?
They haven't put out a date for it yet.
Really? Moving right along, 30th anniversary of Space Invaders. It just won't die.
Yeah, they're coming out with a sequel, actually.
It didn't look that
Invaders
bad. It actually
2?
looked
How
kind
do
of
you
silly.
how do you make a sequel to a top-down scroller?
You call it Space
stationary?
Invaders
even a scroll.
Extreme.
Yeah. Well, the
You don't
alien
understand. This
scroll-
game was so popular back in the
I'm
80s.
sure it was,
Entire
but
arcades had
In
nothing but
retrospect,
Space
you're like
Invaders in
going,
it.
well,
It's just a retro homage, like Pac-Man or anything else for that matter.
It's supposed to make you. Well, the little shooty thing at the bottom.
the shooty thing at the bottom. 30 years ago, we didn't have a name for player
Yeah,
avatars.
there's a little Sperminator. Yeah.
So moving
How many
on.
offshoots of that was there?
Next up, and this is a rumor: Resident Evil arcade game planned.
If it's a
Can
gun
we get
game,
the
I am
House of the Dead
totally
team
there.
on it?
Yeah, man, I'm
it
all
doesn't
about
look
it.
like a gun game though. It looks like an actual run away from shit game. I don't know. I mean,
Okay, because really what I want to do is spend money on survival horror games.
Yeah, what?
actually getting to an arcade is in fact a survival horror game.
Yeah, that's impressive all on its own.
Getting
what kind
getting
of
to the
arcade
cabinet.
game would they make that wasn't a light gun game though?
I've only seen screenshots of it, and it didn't look like that there was any light gun involved in it
Was
yet.
it like Dragon's Lair?
Oh no,
Yeah.
the zombie attacks! Push down.
yeah.
And then you have to wait for the laser disc to spin and load the next scene. That'd be awesome.
Do you get a knife button or just a die button?
Well, this is Resident Evil we're talking about, so
I mean,
Maybe a look for ammo button.
I was actually hearing decent things about Umbrella Chronicles for the Wii. It looks like it was kind of enjoyable. So
Yeah, why couldn't they port that to the arcade? That's a good idea.
yeah,
well, we'll see. I've only seen just one or two screenshots, and there wasn't any inclination as to what type of game it was at this time.
Do they even make arcade games that don't involve crazy controllers these days?
well, everybody except Namco.
Well, they just have cabinets the size of a small house,
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking of
like the Tekken cabinet.
no, I'm thinking of that really, really big one. It was an old Atari shooter back in the day.
What, Red Baron?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Space Invaders. I think it started with an A. Oh, I watched. I was actually watching a website where a guy in Britain went up to. It was somewhere up in Germany, I think, and he actually took the thing apart and took it home.
What was this, G-Lock? Astron Belt?
No,
I think you
no.
sent me the pictures of that. It was something crazy because
It
it
was
was like
huge.
this setup with like projectors. And a
Yeah,
screen
it
and
had dual
everything.
projectors, like 4 seats inside. It was actually built over. It was its own little structure inside.
And it was
inside the
something weird
arcade.
that it was like you played the game over live video footage.
Yeah, it was something 2000 or.
I'll have to look it up.
Oh man, I'll find that link. It was
You can
really
tell
neat.
us. Keegan knows everything.
Yeah, but the guy actually had the website was his whole trip of him going out there and taking it apart because the place wanted to get rid of it, but nobody would buy it. And I don't think he even had to pay for it. He had to just come to the site and dismantle it and take it away, and that was the only problem.
How many days did that take?
Oh, God. I think it took him a little over. No, it was a little under a day because they got there first thing in the morning. They took it apart by the entire evening, put it all into a U-Haul, and then took it home, and they didn't unpack it for like a week because it was so much trouble to take apart.
All right. So next up, 20 gigabyte and 60 gigabyte PS3 discontinued in Japan.
Which means next they're coming out with a 10 gigabyte. Oh, man. What are they on, like revision 5 or 6 now with the systems and...
I can't even
What
keep track
have
of
we
it.
got left to take out of the system? Well,
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
how about the hard drive?
I really got to say, I agree with this footnote where I don't even actually know what version of the system is actually out right now.
Why did they label them all
That's
by
because
the
there's
hard
3 of
drive
them at every
size?
store.
It's like, can we just have like the PS3 minus the stuff you wanted?
Yeah.
The PS3 minus everything?
The PS3 that doesn't have backwards compatibility
Or, one PS3 SKU? That'd be nice.
to rule them all.
Well, it'd be nice to know what the hell you're buying.
I don't know. I suppose once they finally get the cost down to $200, then they might settle on one SKU. We might be waiting a while.
Yeah,
Till then, we'll just continually wait for people that work at Target to post the new SKUs and say, "Hey, look, we found another system coming out! Surprise!"
see, we're a serious podcast because we used SKU. So see, we're cool.
SKU. Today's acronym is
Stock keeping unit. Yes, very exciting.
SKU.
Electric company references have been banned from the podcast.
Oh, come on. It should be the new theme song.
Yeah. Next up, OMG Super Smash Brothers Brawl for Wii gets a perfect score in Famitsu.
Did they buy this one?
Well, Nintendo does have the money.
Or can you only buy 3 10s and 1 9?
No, you don't have to buy that one.
Daddy rolled Yahtzee.
So apparently they think it's perfect, although, well, this is Famitsu we're talking about. So
Yeah, slightly biased sometimes. I don't know. They've been more so towards Nintendo games, I think, than anything else.
I don't know. I mean, it's been like 6 months since we had a good Wii game. It's about time for Nintendo to put another one out.
On the upside, they have been retooling this game for like a year longer than they were supposed to. So
yeah, it's been delayed.
It's kind of amazing it took them that long to add Waggle to hit somebody with a hammer.
it's entirely possible it really is that good of a game.
Well, you have to remember that Famitsu sometimes will actually rate a game higher if that's how they want to see the genre go. That's why Final Fantasy 12 got a perfect 40. It's like, well, it's still a halfway decent game, but this is the direction that we want to see the RPGs go into, which is why we're giving it a higher
You mean
score.
they didn't want the genre to stay entirely stagnant?
Well,
Shocking.
yeah, that's
Even
kind of
they got
strange.
burned out at some point.
Well, that's strange even for a Japanese publication. But moving on, Mike, we were talking about this, but Undertow will be the free game.
So download it on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday.
So it's a free game that everybody can get that's well publicized. Watch Xbox Live go down again.
Let the lawsuits fly.
Has anyone actually played the demo for this? Because
I did. It
And?
looks like it's an excellent multiplayer game, and I think it's got a lot of depth to it. Single player,
Seeing as how it's
doesn't look
underwater
like
and
it's worth the time.
Sorry.
It's better as a multiplayer game, though,
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing. Because I played the demo, and I was like, yeah, this is okay, but I bet it's a lot better as a multiplayer
But
game.
it'll be worth it for free.
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
And if you don't like it, you can just delete it.
Yeah, because I was going to download it anyway. It's like,
Well,
fuck,
everybody
it's
should,
easy.
yeah.
It's,
I think
for
this could
gamer
be
score points.
could really capture a lot of the feel that
It's like a capture the flag game.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple other games that have felt kind of like that to me.
He's just not filling them now.
Continuum is the free client for it. Before that, when it was actually a commercial product, it was it's like a top-down shooter. You flew your ship around, you shot other people.
Time Pilot.
No.
Defender.
It was massively multiplayer. It had like 100 people in the world at once.
Oh, Defender 9000.
Subspace.
Subspace. Thank you. Yes.
That's like old school right there.
It definitely gave me some happy subspace feelings. It looks like, you had some
That's like mid '90s
point
old school right
control.
there.
Classes definitely mattered. It had a good upgrade mechanic to it.
So apparently, Brian's laughing at the power shovel in
Yeah, there's
Dirty
power
Jobs.
shovel and dirty jobs right here.
Yeah, they picked one that was just a little too small.
very, very thematic here.
Can't lift an old lead pipe with a small power shovel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I certainly
lead
got the feeling
culvert.
from playing the demo that just like Subspace, even though the combat was straightforward, skill mattered.
Yeah.
So it would be a game that I would like.
Probably.
Well, it's free, so
Well, you're on live now, too, so.
I've always been on live. I just don't have, gold account.
Okay.
But I can still download a free game because, my emotions and I was, so hurt by the outages.
I got a stack of free 1 month gold cards now because they keep giving it to me for my warranty repairs.
Awesome.
Do you have enough to have a year's worth of
Now-
Xbox Live?
Now if you
Not
only like had a chance to play your system, that would matter.
Might serve
Wow,
a purpose.
that's sad, actually. So, moving on. Next up, Microsoft Insider details Red Ring of Death problems. Most of these we kind of already knew, but it all boils down to, well, we used a lot of cheap parts, cheap stuff, and
Now
well,
we're
we
paying
didn't do it in
millions
quality.
for it.
Billion.
Billion. Well, it is Microsoft. They got money
Yeah,
to
so
throw away.
I think $1 billion still puts a blip on the radar, though.
It's a blip they'll never forget.
is there any word on what? Is it still at 30% for the Red Ring of Death stuff
No
right
idea.
now?
I mean, we've never really had reliable
Yeah.
numbers.
That's like the estimate.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Shit
bad.
breaks. Shit
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Anything above 10% is just bad in general, but geez,
Well,
30?
above 3%, I think, is when companies start getting nervous about their return rates. So, and I've heard like 25% has been the more reliable estimate I've heard for that one. But even so, it's a lot of them.
10% would have been acceptable to me as a first-year system, but yeah, we're into the second year of
Well,
the
and
cycle.
hopefully
And
they're getting more reliable now. They've certainly made some changes to the hardware, but who knows?
Motherboards made out of
knows?
paper.
They keep shipping me ones made in 2006, so I'm not real happy about that.
God. Holy refurb.
Well, moving on, ESPN to take Major League Gaming seriously.
Well, sort of.
What?
How seriously are they going to take it?
I'll
Well-
believe it when I see a regular scheduled setup with them, and they're actually
It's
they're
good-
pushing the
that's-
commentating side. Of
Okay.
it, more or less what they're saying.
All right, once again,
I
watching
so
someone
hope
else
they don't
play
get
video
Madden
games
to
is not
comment
very
on
interesting.
Yeah.
video games.
You know, I disagree. I watch gameplay HTV once in a while, and I think it really depends on the people that talking about it, because the people that talk about it, if they've played the game, they know the strategies, they can explain it to a degree that actually is exciting. But yeah, it's too early right now. There's not a whole slew of people out there that can do that, and it's
Well,
not going
it's-
to be that exciting unless you really enjoy the game and you want to watch it
It's
that
interesting like baseball is interesting. If you already like doing it, then you like it.
way. Yeah.
You know, if you
It's
don't
hard
like
to pull a
watching
new crowd
baseball,
into it, yeah.
then
I'd
you
like
don't
to know
like
how
watching
they're even
baseball.
going
It
to
doesn't
be
matter
able
who your
to,
commentator is.
to televise it either. I mean, like a sporting event, it makes a lot of sense for how you televise it. You put a camera out there, you watch what everybody's doing. I don't know how you even do that with video games.
Well, with the gameplay, they actually have the screens keyed up to the TV so they can bop back and forth between screens on players and show you what they're doing from that personal player's point of view.
Huh.
So you actually get a feel of where they're going, what they're looking for,
I
and
mean,
then
I
they
think
explain
I'd
to you
actually
what's
hope for
going
something
on.
that was like an overall view of what was going on, more so than just one
They
player's
bounce back and forth with that, like if they're showing a StarCraft tournament, which is kind of cool. They'll go back and forth. But they don't really have to with StarCraft as much because they have the one big screen that shows the entire thing, so they'll bounce between each player's screen to show what they're doing or where they're attacking
That does
or how
seem
they're being
better.
attacked.
Because, I mean, like, popping into an FPS player's point of view sounds to me like trying to watch a football game from the point of view of a defensive lineman. It just doesn't
Well,
seem
yeah,
like
but that's
a
how
good
you see
idea.
the game anyways. So all they're doing is flipping channels between each player. It's not as confusing as it sounds. It actually works pretty well.
I don't know.
We shall see. Of course, the thing that's going to suck is, they're going to have all these games that no one will be interested in watching anyway. Barbie's Horse Adventure on ESPN.
Gameplay only does stuff that's pretty popular. I mean, granted, they do Counter-Strike a lot. They do StarCraft. They actually do a few console tournaments, too. I've seen, I think it's PGR3 on there a few times. There's been there's been a few racing games, but it's interesting. I mean, they're doing it well enough that you can appreciate it and you can understand it. It's not something that only hardcore gamers will enjoy. So it's going to take a little time, but I think channels like the HD channel, like Gameplay, are doing a good job of making that more popular.
Okay.
I think the real challenge is trying to make it more exciting than just playing the game yourself, which seems hard.
And our next topic's really interesting, too, for that reason.
Yeah. Our last topic is performance enhancers finally come to video gaming, and Steve's shaking his head.
I think this is totally bullshit because you know what it could be? Performance enhancers for video games was called cocaine.
You mean Red Bull?
I mean, seriously, do you really? No, this is just some dumbass who's like, oh, look, I made a supplement or whatever. The real performance enhancers people have been using for 35 years. It's called, Mountain Dew.
I would buy this if it did, like, both Viagra and a game enhancement at the same time.
Yeah, or something. Something where
then I could really get off on StarCraft.
Oh my God. All right.
Well, I think we'll know that this actually works when Punkbuster needs a blood test before letting you play.
You have to breathe into a breathalyzer before you can play this game.
Exactly.
So I know there's a limp weed joke in here somewhere.
It won't be limp for long if they do my idea. So I had to stick that in there.
All right. Enough of that. That's crap. Anyway, go on.
But for Brian, because I know he's like a big hippie health freak.
That's me. You're hippie health freak.
I'm not really sure what this has anything to do with that.
It
seems like they took like a multivitamin and made it into a drink.
No, I wanted to list the ingredients for Brian that are on the bottom there.
They're on the footnote there, and they look like he's, looks like a multivitamin.
It's a lot of vitamins, B1, your B2, B12.
It's a multivitamin that they made into a drink and labeled for.
I think it's just a vitamin.
Like they relabeled Gatorade and stuck it in a FPS section.
They're trying to obviously pump the adrenaline with the L-tyrosine, but
or they could just do like PCP.
I think what they're charging per pill is kind of funny, but that's just me.
Well, it's because it's a pill. It's not even a drink.
Yeah.
Well, if you grind it up in like Red Bull, it becomes a drink.
Or you put it in your oatmeal. Oh yeah, I can
if you put it if you put it in a spoon and light a match under it.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot it directly.
Yeah, I can just see a commercial where they're doing that. They're lighting on a spoon and then they're like blowing on it so they can slurp it up really fast because nobody has.
There's going to be a 60-minute special. Have you been taking this drug? 10 years after the World Video Game Tournaments, some washed up cyber athletes like, yeah, I've got names. Of people.
And like his adrenal gland is pulsing out of his side of it. Yeah, like some sci-fi horror flick where his adrenal gland pulsing out of his head.
He'll look exactly like Mother Brain at the end of Metroid. He'll be in a glass jar too,
like a Futurama.
Morley Safer will be shooting missiles into him.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've gotten into
it's going to be like a
safer area,
we're going to see like Dune references.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the energy drink people already have this market locked down, and calling it something different is just retarded.
Yeah.
But they're more hardcore because they're pills.
So you have to have prior experience of pills before you can take them?
Yes. Appropriate only if you are already an addict.
So what do they have for casual pills?
Casual pills
gamers.
For casual gamers.
Casual pills for casual gamers.
They're called sugar pills.
Here's a sugar cube. Now lick it like a deer. Lick it like a salt lick.
Yeah, you have a big salt lick in your living room. You're playing it.
When you complete this game, you get a piece of cake.
Yes.
The cake is a lie.
Stop that. Did you actually play Portal?
John?
I did. I actually got it as a Christmas present. Got to play through it.
Nice.
It was genuinely funny.
It's hilarious.
I was trying to think back of other games I played that were funny, and I There's less than 5 I can even think of.
You mean intentionally funny?
Yes, things that are actually comedic.
Yes.
That make you laugh out loud.
Intentionally comedic.
Okay.
Not funny as in sad.
Yeah. Not sewer shark.
Yeah.
All right. Not like a clown dying. But moving on.
No, a lot like a clown dying.
Okay. Clown dyings are funny.
And over again.
Ah. And we have some power shovel porn here on the television.
Yeah,
It's the tears of a clown.
Yeah. All right, move on.
Okay. Our first topic, now that we're on topics
We need
now.
a compressor on this so that when we yell, it doesn't overload stuff. We need a compressor limiter.
You mean like, I'm like picturing an air compressor in the background kicking.
Like, well, we could do that too, I guess.
We run out of hot air, we can get some extra, it helps out.
Plug in.
So this topic is we're going to discuss our favorite video game publishers and developers because I'm running out of ideas.
Can I tell you, really, that I almost never pay attention to who makes my video games?
I was trying to think of one, and the only one I could come up with was THQ, and it's because they
mean,
publish
THQ?
I mean, the
publish
only one
some
I
of the
can think of
best
is
RTSs out there right now.
the only ones I think of are the ones of games that I'm currently playing a lot.
You mean
so
like Blizzard and
well-
whoever makes Tabula Rasa?
Well, but Tabula Rasa is done by I can't remember.
NC
now.
Soft now.
Is
right?
it NC Soft now?
Yeah, I think they bought it.
Oh, I like how everybody develops like MMOs, and then NC Soft or Sony Online Entertainment buys them and fucks them over.
Yeah,
It's like they buy them just to ruin them.
yeah.
It's not like they have other games that are any better. It's just they buy MMOs and ruin them. It's some sort of religious thing that they'd have to do.
We
Their
didn't
God
create it, so we
commands
must
them.
take it over and
Well,
destroy it.
They ruin their own games too. It's like
Yeah, well,
that's the
very
problem. Is they've already
egalitarian.
ruined
their own games, so they have to go get a new one to ruin.
It's like some sort of devotional thing where like they just have to do it as a matter of course
Yeah.
to please their video gaming god.
THQ did, or they published rather, Company of Heroes and Supreme Commander, two of my favorite FPSs.
Okay,
And
just
just those, they
THQ is
stand
pretty
out.
big. They got to get some hits, right?
Yeah, they've been doing hit after hit lately. I'm real happy with them, and these are quality games that have very few problems and just really fun to play.
There have to be some developers you guys really like. Like, what about Treasure?
Well,
Oh, Treasure's like golden.
I might mention Stretch Panic in there, but
and now John, who's the
Who makes Power Shovel?
Taito?
Taito's classic.
There's two developers that I would absolutely... Well, I do. They make a game, I buy it. Introversion Software. That did,
Yeah, there's a big surprise.
yeah, Uplink and Darwinia and
I still gotta play those.
DEF CON. They make a game, I buy it. They're all excellent. I'm in there. They reflect their production values, but they're excellent games that are totally worthwhile for everybody, and you should own 3 copies too, whoever you are.
Keegan.
And Silicon Knights. I really like Silicon Knights, and I think they're... Whenever they come out with something, I've always enjoyed it. I'm hoping Too Human doesn't suck. I'm really hoping, especially because I'm going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, there's certain people out there like Konami.
Let me-
You can't pass up most Castlevanias.
Infocom.
Infocom.
The
Wow.
old Infocom. not the new Infocom.
Yeah.
There's a new info.
They're not
Well, like Activision bought them, and it kept for a while there. They were putting out games under an Infocom label.
It's
And
not your mama's
they bet-
Infocom.
It was never my mom's Infocom.
Come on, your mom was really into Leather Goddesses
Oh,
and Bubbles.
Oh yeah, she's playing.
She just didn't know it.
Yeah, wow. Taito, obviously, because Power Shovel is probably the greatest game ever made, ever.
Bubble Bobble's really good too. So
Yeah, they did make Bubble Bobble.
Oh, what about Data East? They made Bad Dudes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
The only good game that they made next to Karnov
Hey,
on the NES.
I think the
I
sequel
heard there
could be
was
really
a
good.
Data West.
I
It said no relation, but there was some company called Data West.
yeah, there was.
Like, kind of cracked me up. I'm like, that's
So
real
ruffians
original.
have kidnapped the Dauphin.
Yeah.
Are you a bad enough musketeer to save him?
You bet your wee ass I am.
That would be the Scots. Apparently, are going to save the Dauphin.
Dauphin.
fascinating reversal of history.
That'd be really funny. We should do that. It's like a bunch of Highlanders
Puffed
running
up
around,
Scots.
running around France trying to find the Dauphin.
I'll stuff his ass with haggis.
That's in the patch.
Yeah.
It's a mod.
You bet your arse.
Okay, so other than those, Brian, you've mentioned Konami and Treasure, even though they're somewhat kind of the same company, kind of, sort of, maybe. Actually, Treasure is after Formation.
One.
Well, no, Konami, Treasure is actually formed from ex-Konami employees.
Yeah. There's some great companies out there that just split off of other companies, too, like Xing and Aiding and...
Rising
Rising, all these different
Falling.
individual companies that just went off and did their own thing.
That was actually when Towel Plan went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Towel Rod?
No, not Towel
Lives
Rod.
with monkeys?
No, Towel Plan. Who
Survive
made,
as long as you can.
No. Towel Plan, who made the All Your Base Are Belong to Us video game, Zero Wing. But they went bankrupt, and Rising, Takumi, and Cave came out of that. So.
Yeah. Oh, God, Cave, yeah.
Well,
Forgot about them.
how could you forget about them? Bullet Hell.
Yeah.
I know one publisher that's been kind of a surprise and that's really been worth watching for the last couple of years has been Atlas.
Yeah,
really,
Atlas has been doing really
they've
well.
like totally flipped around.
And
from what they
who's
were
it?
in the
NIS?
Well, yeah, it's doing a lot of the same stuff, yeah.
80s. Atlas used to be some just cheeseball arcade publisher, developer.
But they've really been doing
excellent.
excellent jobs on the translations for some obscure titles that have really been worthwhile, and I've been really happy to see that we're I think it's NIS America that's doing the Culdcept Saga release here.
I know it's Namco Bandai is the publisher. I do not know who the developer is.
It's nice
I
to see
will
these
have to double
companies
check
finding
that.
these
I think
these
the American
niches.
publisher is NIS America because it's showing up on their web store.
Okay, I'll double check that.
It's
But-
kind of weird, but this is like this time of this. It comes every 3 or 4 years where there's this people crave niche games. They want something new. They're tired of the standard fare, and a lot of these companies are popping up that are filling these like Culdcept Saga. It's so neat to see one of these just niche games that obviously wasn't that popular on
Speaking
the
of
PS2.
niche games, was it Endless Blue comes out on the Wii? Was it an ocean game where you just wander around an ocean and just do nothing?
Yeah.
It's Aquanaut's Holiday all over again on the PS1.
Or Echo the Dolphin.
Well, it's not even Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin had goals.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you'd dive in the water and look at fish.
Yeah. Sounds like your vacation game. The PSP.
Yeah.
Why go on holiday when you can just put it on a small TV and listen to it?
Oh, man, that game blew.
Oh, jeez.
That was the worst game ever made.
So other than Data East was probably the worst answer I got out of this. Bad Dudes was the only good game that they've made, and that wasn't really that good of a game.
Memorable game, that's for sure.
No, there's this. They did like a platform game. I don't remember what it's called, but it's really, really awful. And Insert Credit was shouting about it all for a while. Steve, you have anything else that you want to add other than Infocom and possibly whoever made Roger Wilco?
I so honestly almost never pay attention to who makes my games.
Who did
I
Full
really don't.
Throttle on the PC?
I'm like a bad.
That's LucasArts.
I'm like a bad.
Which used to be a good development.
They used to
studio.
be good, yeah.
Well, way back in the day, they used to be good.
Those are great PC
It's like,
games.
how can you not want to remake X-Wing and TIE Fighter? How is George Lucas not pounding on their door going,
My God.
what the hell is wrong with you people? Why aren't you exploiting my franchises?
Well,
Yeah.
even so, though, I mean, their original IP was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Full Throttle, Sam and Max. Well, Sam and Max is based off of comics, but they did a really great
Yeah, but
game
it's really
with
good,
it.
though.
And
Some great creative stuff, not just the licensed stuff, but
back
real
in the day,
creative
haven't done
content.
Back in the day,
anything interesting for,
Microprose
like,
did
what,
a lot
10
of cool
years?
stuff.
Microprose, yeah. Even
Microprose
Sierra
did a lot of
was
stuff.
creative, yeah.
Master of Orion,
And
XCOM.
it's probably worth mentioning
Microprose
Blizzard
did
at
the
this
original,
point then.
published the original Civilization.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And Sierra Online's making a comeback now, too.
Oh, good, because I missed King's Quest.
King's Quest 23, where we give you even less kits and make you combine random ass shit
And
to
you're
do random things.
Screwed all the way
That
down
makes
to a
no
popper.
sense.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our next topic. We discuss why we like the games we like. Why do I like shooters? Why does Steve like... What do you like?
Nothing. I mean,
particular.
they don't call me Grumpelstiltskin for nothing.
You just buy a game and stare at a blank screen.
He has no
for 2
specific
hours.
genre.
If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, it's shit.
That's usually the rule of thumb, Steve.
This moment of uniqueness brought to you by Guinness Dublin.
And,
oh wait, no, he's on Mike's Hard Lemonade.
And why does Brian like RTSs and whatever else games you play?
I liked RTSs before there were a million of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And why does John like everything else we don't
Simulation, man. Simulation's where it's at, too. Driving,
like?
flying.
But why do you like it?
I just appreciate
Just
a really
putting you in
well-made game.
in the seat of what's going on. I mean, it's just fun.
I mean,
Yeah, you got to really appreciate a game where they put
I
everything
don't really
into it.
care what genre it is, so long as it's really well made.
I like to think I like games because they're good. I mean, if you make a game that's fun, it doesn't really matter what genre it is. Or
And it
what
doesn't
it's
matter
like.
how much is
burned
put
out
into
on
it.
FPSs, but Gears wasn't really an FPS. But Gears was really good, and Call of Duty 4 was really good.
And it's not just a matter of money you put into it, too. I mean, some of the best Flash games for free on the web are hilariously fun and just addicting, like Chain Reaction and Desktop Tower Defense. I've spent hours on those. I mean, they're such simple concepts, but they're still addictive and
There's
fun.
like a
you know?
million MMOs that I absolutely hate, and I'll talk
Yeah.
about some in a little bit. But, you know, as much
There's a
as
list.
as vanilla as World of Warcraft is, it's the most thoroughly polished MMO that in existence.
Not to mention the
You know.
eye candy.
Just true to form with Blizzard. They don't do anything truly revolutionary, but what they do is polished beyond, you know, any ability to look at it.
They do what they do
They do
really
the
well.
genre.
That's called Bloom.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
there's-
a Bloom
I don't think
effect.
there's any Bloom in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they kept their hardware requirements pretty low. They did not go into next-gen brown and blue.
No, they did not. Some of the horde areas are kind of brown, though. It's kind of they're in a
I
desert.
think I really, honestly, I think I really enjoy most of the multiplayer aspects of most games. I really like playing with friends and doing things
yeah,
cooperative.
there's not a lot
Co-op
of
is
games
where
I'll
it's
play
at.
these days that don't have multiplayer.
It really,
it's
it's kind of
almost
funny.
an
Like
essential
2-3
thing
years
at this
ago,
point.
co-op was not even. It was like, well, that comes out once every 5 or 6 games, and it's just enough for you and a friend to play something. But now it's defining. It's got to be in a game
Well, I
where
mean, I
the
don't
game
even
just
care if
isn't
it's
that
co-op
good.
or versus. It's got to have some sort of multi.
Some sort of multiplayer.
If it
yeah.
doesn't, my interest level goes down a huge amount.
Yeah.
That's not an aspect for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, gee, what a surprise.
Yeah,
huh?
well, 'cause,
Yeah.
you know, Murdock.
You in
wouldn't
the
have to play
Batcave.
against somebody.
I don't know. I was looking through my stack of 360 titles, and by far the one I've had the most fun with was Earth Defense Force.
yeah. I've got
why
more
is
people.
that?
I've been reading more posts on NeoGeo.com about that because I posted on there, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm missing 2 weapons, or I'm missing 3 weapons, and I put in like 30 hours in the game." And
Dude, I saw that at GameSpot for like $19.99. I'm like brand new.
That's
It's like
kind of
why
pricey,
should I?
actually. I think I've seen it for 15 now.
Well,
Or
I
it
was
for a
I was
while.
looking at it. It's like, should I be buying this game?
Well, I
seen
mean,
it for
really, Halo 3 did
$9.99,
nothing special. I mean, it was more of the same, except a little prettier,
Yeah.
and giving more thing. But man,
the multiplayer.
the multiplayer is the whole point of playing that game.
I don't even own the game, and I will go play LAN gaming with it with other friends
I mean,
because it actually
there's
is
no
that much
reason
fun
to buy that
play
game.
with it.
I finished the game in a night.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Yeah.
multiplayer is a big thing as to why you like those specific games, right?
well, there's pretty much no games I play now for more than a day that don't have multiplayer.
It was
I mean,
the best
okay,
$8
there's
rental I
Assassin's
got
Creed,
out of
but I mean, you can't
In
go
a
wrong
long
with
time.
Assassin's Creed and stabbing Crusaders in the back. I mean, that's an exception to the rule because I mean, really walking about behind people and stabbing them through the torso is just never gets old.
Ah,
I rented Halo 3 just for a LAN party because I wasn't going to buy it. I wasn't really that into it, but you know, I was getting a group of people together to have fun, and I rented it. We played it for 8 hours or whatever that night until 2 in the morning, and I woke up the next day and I just beat it in like 3 or 4 hours. It was like the best $8 rental I think I've gotten in a long time.
That was a good value for money.
You know, it
on
was the
that
first time I could justify $8 out of a rental, I should say. I don't rent them that often, but man, that I didn't feel so bad about it when I took it back. I was like, I feel like I got enough out of this, and you know, 400 or 500 Microsoft achievement points at the same time.
so John, any thing you want to add about why you like the games you like, why you like the, you know,
I've
incomprehensible games that you play?
Why you like the girls that go boom.
Novelty is a big factor for me. If somebody puts out a game that does something that I haven't seen before,
Party balloons come out of the game.
Yeah, that helps.
Confetti.
I mean, you open up that case and the hooker pops out.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Wait,
This was the best $39.95 I've ever spent.
As a matter of fact, even that if that was no longer a novel, I would still buy that game.
So
The second time, it would still be good.
It'd still be as good.
So for you, John, novelty and now what about obscurity? Because you seem to
Well,
want
I
to.
mean, they go hand in hand because it's definitely more fringe. It's the fringe, low budget stuff that gets to try new ideas because you can't spend $40 million on a game on something that hasn't been tested before. If you don't know it's going to work, you're not going to spend that much money on it.
That actually makes your collection make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just antisocial. So
By the way, I feel the need to say this again because every time I say it, it makes me laugh. So I was listening to our larger, older, retarded brother.
the Maxim
video game
podcast.
one-up thing. They had an
What
interview.
did Lenny have to say?
Yeah. Well, first he talked about the rabbits for a little while.
This is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
But then the guy was talking. He was interviewing the guy who did like NFL Blitz or whatever, the unlicensed NFL game.
Yeah, game was a riot.
And apparently, the developer was saying that the first 10 people that logged on to Xbox Live, they actually got the equivalent of video game herpes. And they could. What would happen is you would play against somebody else when you logged on, and at the end of the game, it would say you feel a burning sensation. It would have a little pop-up, just like an achievement thing that says you have a burning sensation.
Was that one of those 0-point infection achievements?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so whenever you played against someone else after the game,
You
the other
pass
person
the
would
infection
also
on,
get
yeah.
the burning sensation.
That's great. I read about that.
That's
but I didn't
awesome.
know how it worked.
Yeah.
There's been more than a few games that have done that now.
Well, the funny thing was there was one guy, I can't remember the name of the actual football player because I really don't pay attention to football that much. But there was a guy who was he would use the pseudonym of Ron Mexico, and because he had gotten herpes or something, he was getting treated for it, and he was whatever. So there's actually a character who plays for his team in his position named Ron Mexico, and supposedly that's a little tribute to that guy there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
wow, that's kind of cool. Maybe.
So whatever.
I just remember trying to play the demo for NFL Blitz, or not NFL Blitz, but Blitz the League.
Is that what that is? I can't remember.
It absolutely convinced me that those sports games are not casual games. They are absolutely hardcore because if you don't know how football plays,
Well,
Some of those are just radically hilarious. I mean,
okay, John. It's expected that if you're really, really interested in playing a sports game, you would have at least some sort of basic knowledge of how the game is played before going into it.
Yeah, but I mean,
for
the game
noobs.
has no tutorial, no explanation. It's just thunk.
Well,
play.
it's the demo too. So I mean, it could be like Blue Dragon.
It could be, but I don't know. I really get the feeling that it's like if you're playing Madden 08, they expect you played Madden 07 and 06 and 05.
Well, that's
and
because
04.
the only people buying Madden 08 are the people that have bought the franchise before.
yeah. What you got to do is,
I mean, I played
if you
Madden,
pass
even
the
though they're
goal line,
mainstream.
you score.
I played
they're
Madden
still
94.
hardcore games in their own right.
I mean, I can't remember last time I played a Madden game.
You
I
played
think it
one,
really
you
was
played
like
them all. They just
94
have
or
better
something like that.
graphics.
Yeah, but John, to be fair, I mean, do you even follow football or know how the game is played?
I think they line up and throw the ball around some.
Yeah.
But it was this whole
kinda
thing.
like playing a
They didn't
bullet
even
hell
explain
shooter.
the controls or anything.
It's like playing a bullet hell shooter.
Yeah.
They really didn't explain that.
Or what? There was the Fight Night.
Yeah, but they
demo
don't have
that I
to
gave
pass
a try.
bullets to another player to play it.
That'd be a cool innovation.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, you have to pass. You can share ammo with each other.
No, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
Or you pass the bandana back and forth.
Or if after you pull the you get a power up, you can actually go over the other person and steal a power up as you pass them.
That's already in the game. You don't need to add
like
that
after
feature
you
to
grab
it.
it.
No.
Yeah, so you could pass somebody else and steal power ups from their ship.
How would that be cooperative?
I didn't say it was cooperative. I said it'd be a cool innovation.
No. This is why Steve is not a game designer.
Maybe if I was, the world would be better off. There'd be a Power Shuffle MMO, I guarantee it.
The
Well, then
opinion.
obviously the world would be better off. There's just no doubt.
I know.
All the main hero characters would be bald. And cheese would revive any character regardless of their hit points.
Well, this
Makes more sense than Phoenix Down.
So actually, it would calm their nerves so they could snipe somebody.
Yeah, you eat a piece of cheese and
Be like diazepam.
yeah.
Yeah, Solid Snake. Kill some cow. Cheese can't be made.
Can't you
You've
already
created
buy
a time
cheese
paradox.
in like Final Fantasy to regain hit points?
I do not think there's cheese in any Final Fantasy. Other than the cheesy mini games in Final Fantasy, there is that.
Or the cheesy dialogue, or the cheesy romances.
Yeah, and I would like to mention right now,
The cheesy
publicly
cheesiness?
on this podcast, that Blitzball is the worst mini game ever created.
No. Space Chicken.
Oh my god.
Space Chicken. Space Chicken. Space Quest 3.
Okay.
Space Chicken.
Okay.
It even had like
Space Chicken.
Okay. I think
prefer
Blitzball has it beat for one reason and one reason only. Sports games really suck to play to begin with, but to play it with a menu system,
Yeah, it was
Fail.
really cool in Space Quest 3 because it was the first time I can recall playing a video game inside a video game.
You got to appreciate the irony there.
Did you never play Bureaucracy?
No.
we don't have to play bureaucracy. We live.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, that's it for that topic. We have our
That pretty much killed it.
Yeah. We have our 1 minute game reviews, and I will start with Omega 5.
Omega 5.
Omega 5.
How many hoes is that?
It's 5.
5.
Well,
That's a lot of hoes.
Yeah.
That's enough to play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, my
and one left over to suck your dick.
You, sir, will suck the dick.
yeah.
You are the ones who are
That was reminding me of.
Oh, he stumped him.
That was reminding me of the news report they're going to have on the local news channel here about the game you can play, sexual acts in game. They're talking about Mass Effect. There's no sex in the game at all.
It's two lesbians rubbing each other. What is so sexual about that? Get a fucking clue.
It's like cable sex before 10.
Yeah. It's not like their clothes are off. It's not like they're zooming in. It's just a quick rub down. They're petting each other, really. Call it what it is.
Yeah. So Omega 5, side-scrolling shooter by Hudson, Xbox Live Arcade. Very decent, kind of shortish, only 4 levels. Decent
Kind
challenge.
of cheap, though, so I mean, like,
Oh,
value
yeah.
for level.
Yeah, true, but decent shooter. Not terribly difficult, but that may be a little
It's
biased.
decently difficult.
So
when
on
you get
like
to
the
level
scale
4.
of like, 0 to Ikaruga.
Well, it'd be 0 to R-Type.
Okay.
it's a 7.
Yeah, it's about 6-7. It's not terribly difficult, but there is a learning curve, and you're not going to...
There's definitely strategy. There's definitely a lot of secret stuff you can do. It's very well orchestrated.
Yeah, and it's probably the best-looking Xbox Live Arcade game out there, in my opinion. But
By
that's...
Did you
far,
play
yeah.
RoboBlitz?
No. Should I?
Maybe not.
Okay.
It was quirky. It was fun. It probably wasn't worth the $15 they wanted for it.
15?
Yeah, that one might have even been 20. I forget. It was
Wow.
the most expensive one out when it came out.
Ouch.
I'll wait for them to have a sale.
So it's worth the 800 Xbox Live.
And
Points.
if only alone for the fact that it's like the second shmup on there. So I'll take it for that.
Like
Original
News Shop,
shmup.
not-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That isn't
and
Aegis
first
Wing.
created, specifically solely for that.
Yeah, where does Xevious fall on that difficulty scale, by the way?
I think that's 11, actually. Xevious is not
I
an
can
easy
believe
game.
that. I've been stuck on like level 14 for a while now. And that's with being able to continue at any level.
Wow. Why are you playing Xevious?
Because I want to get through all 16 levels.
You are a masochist.
But I want to get
I
through
mean,
all
I
16
like
levels.
hard games, but even I won't play Xevious.
Yeah, I won't go back to it much anymore after the days of, when I played it.
All right, so who else has a review here?
I got nothing. We're good. I just bought BFE, Battle for Middle-earth,
BFE.
the
Big
anthology.
fucking egg.
Oh, there's not a lot of new RTSs
supposedly
coming out,
pretty good.
unfortunately, so I'm going back to older ones that were supposedly supposed to be good. The
I
single-player
heard that one's supposed to
campaign
be
is
good.
actually quite boring, but the multiplayer, on the other hand, I've heard is supposed to be pretty decent, so...
You should go back and play War of the Worlds.
So you
Nobody
can shoot
played
people
War
in
of the
their
Worlds, but it
and
was
nothing but
quite
their
good.
pants remains.
No, you get to harvest people for their blood.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
How about the multiplayer aspect?
I don't know if it supported multiplayer. I think it did. It was probably only 2-player.
So, John, you have anything?
Well, I could give a follow-up to the last show where I'd recently beaten Rogue Galaxy, and since then put about another 60 hours into Rogue Galaxy, as there's a surprising amount of content left after you beat the game.
Yeah, I'm going to guess so if you put 60 more hours into it.
So it was definitely worth the...
$15? Yeah, it was totally worth the $15.
Does the story get any better?
No, the story remains cheesy, and the characters are unsympathetic, and I was kind of hoping they'd die, and they didn't. But the game is fun. We got to play through the Insectron bit. The combat system remains entertaining. Good game, crappy story. Or at least cliched story.
Well, I don't know what else to expect out of a Japanese RPG.
Yeah, which is kind of one of the reasons why Japanese RPGs blow. But anyway.
Yeah, not in a good way. So next up, we have Steve doing something that I just made up called the Grudge Match.
I'm like, what the hell's the Grudge? Oh, that's that thing I'm doing.
do we have Grudge Match music here?
I don't know. Do you? I mean, it's called editing. Put it in later.
No, we'll do the highlight
theme song for like Blood Bowl.
Oh, I'm late. Shit. We could always do the Highlander theme.
There can be only one Highlander.
No, from the TV series. From Queen.
It was the same one.
We are the princes of the universe.
Same song.
So you're talking about Lineage
Lineage.
and
Lineage
some
2.
other game. What's the other game?
The other game's called Sword of the New World. And it's a
Didn't we just have a Lineage 2 killing?
Yeah, there was news on Kotaku that
I can tell you why.
Damn it, I meant to
Because
go
the
there
game
today.
bites.
no, it was an actual murder from. It was like one planet
it was
against
like,
another or something like
2
that.
There was like 2 Moscow gangs or guilds. They got together and they beat one guy to death. And
I can.
It was
Okay,
bad.
here's why that is. Because it's such a pain in the
Lineage
ass
wasn't
to
high
get
enough.
anything accomplished in Lineage 2. That they probably were so out of their minds that this guy had prevented them or taken something that they had that it's worth killing. Because
So you're saying entirely justified.
Plus
it's
they're
entirely
gangsters.
justified. No, it's true. Okay, here's the thing.
From
Both of
Moscow?
these use, if you play Guild Wars, Guild Wars, it got the exact same sort of interface. It's pretty much an advanced, more modified version of the Diablo interface. You point to click everywhere. Everything's point and click. Even moving doesn't use WASD. It's point to click.
Okay.
Lineage 2 starts you off in front of this guy, and you're like, okay, well, here's how you move around. I'm like, thanks, asshole. I had to figure out how to move around in order to talk to you. So that's already pointless. And he says, talk to this person who's 3 feet to my left. Okay, that's really awesome, because why would I want to do that? So I walk over, I talk to their person, say, oh my god, these goblins stole something. Go and kill a bunch of them and get it back, and then I'll give you this such and such. So you go over, you kill 3 people, gain a level,
Okay.
grab the drop, go back
you
to this
say
other person who
tutorial?
tells you go back to the first person who says, oh, that's really awesome. Here's some items that we're not going to explain to you what they're for. Then it says, it gives you a choice. It says you can try to hone your skills or go through further training or go to this other island, neither of which have any context whatsoever. I mean, need I mention that there's really not an instruction booklet for this game? So you pick the first one, and it says, okay, head south, my son. So you head south, and you truck south, and you truck south, and you truck south, and you truck south. You're walking
Sounds like
forever.
semi-fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you go, and you end up in a town, and you got no idea what to do. I mean, there's literally no indication of what you're supposed to be doing next. There's a dude there, you can talk to him, but there's
Sounds
no
like an
context
80s
for
RPG.
I mean, really no idea what you're doing. So I said, okay, well, maybe that wasn't the greatest choice to make. So I picked a different faction, different gender, different race dude, made a new character. The intro is exactly the same for this character. except in a different place. Go kill some goblins, which apparently are a massive infestation everywhere. You go back, you tell this dude, and he says, well, you can either go to the little training town or you can go to this other place. So I pick, let's go to this other place. Well, then it sends you to this other place.
Maybe you should go to the training town.
Well, that's what the first one I went to. The training town was, I don't know what the hell I'm doing in the training town. So I go to this new one, and it drops you off. It teleports you to this, it looks like some big temple complex. And you've got like a little waypoint indicator around you that says, follow the arrow. So you follow the arrow, and you follow the arrow, and you follow the arrow, and you follow the arrow. 15 minutes, I swear to God, I'm walking down this road. I never got to where I'm supposed to be going.
You gave up before you got there?
I gave it was a long ass time.
That would drive me to kill.
Yeah, it was really, the people that have actually managed to get into this game and played obsessively have to have something wrong with them. Because it really is like this horribly
So there's only one game that this could possibly be compared to on an even footing. Neocron.
Well, yeah, it was sort of confusing like in Neocron, except more shit happened in Neocron. So at the same time as I'm doing this, I'm looking through this. I was going to MMORPG.com, and there's a thread about, recommend me an MMO to play or something, And so one person said, well, if you like Guild Wars, try Sword of the New World. Sword of the New World is apparently an 18th century historical fiction MMO in the same sort of vein.
What?
It's actually, believe it or not, this is a polar opposite comparison. Because that game, not only did it not take by the way, I installed Lineage in a half an hour, maybe that, but the uptakes took 4.5 hours. And I bought the package that had the 5 expansions.
Was it all packed in one update from like point 1 to point 8, or what? Do you have to install multiple updates?
No, it was one update, but it just took forever. And I had the 5 expansions, so you would think that if you didn't have the 5 expansions, you're fucking screwed. It's like a week.
Oh my god.
So I load up this thing. I download it off the web. It's like you have to get it off of. It's like a 2.5 gig download or something. Went really fast off of what you call it. It's one DVD. I downloaded it off of FileFront or whatever. It was in 7 files. It took me about 45 minutes to download it. Installed. I was playing within 10 minutes of installing the damn thing. All the updates came down really fast. It was good.
Almost too good to be true.
Well, I logged in, and it was. The control scheme is exactly the same, but it's a light and day different version of gameplay experience. You start off, there's a dude right in front of you who says, "Oh, I'm a pirate dude, and I'm bringing you to the new world, but I'm really kind of pissed off because I'm out of rum. So go talk to this guy and get me some rum." I'm like, "All right, I could get you rum."
It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Kind of. And so you walk up and you talk to this guy. And he's like, he wants more rum. All I got is my whatever. So he gives you rum. You bring it to the pirate, and the pirate guy gives you a map that has a map of the New World, the explored areas of the New World. And then you dock, and you end up. He says, "Go talk to this guy when you get to the town." Well, all right, I'm thinking, oh, great, I got to look for a guy. Nope. You get to the town, you get off the ship, and he's right there in front of you. You go up, you talk to the dude, and he says, oh, yeah, you have to do this and this and this. Go talk to this dude and talk to the guards along the way. So you talk to the guards along the way, who all have little icons over them that say, talk to me. And they take and they say things like, you can go to this place to do this place to do this. And you go through and you do all the thing, and I'm like, could these guys talk to the Lineage dudes? Because the Lineage dudes need to know what they're doing. Sucks ass. Plus, the other thing I hated in Lineage is that you pretty much couldn't customize your interface anyway whatsoever. On the other hand, Sword of the New World not only has mouse inversion on the V-axis, it also has mouse inversion on the horizontal axis.
I've seen that a couple of times, and I've never understood why.
I really don't get that.
Check that box.
But, it's really cool. Plus, the other thing with Sword of the New World is that you actually have parties, like in Guild Wars, and the parties are just you with different characters, like 3 of them or whatever.
Huh.
So it's pretty cool. Plus, whoever did their art for their costuming, their stuff, whatever, their art's really, really good. It looks like, you basically look like you're playing in Pirates of the Caribbean era, except really, really good looking, artwork. So, moral of the story, I don't care how in-depth your particular game is and how many people play it, if your interface sucks ass, why'd you bother?
So it's Old Man Murray all over again. If you can't get it done in the first hour, don't expect anybody to keep playing your game.
Yep. Pretty much.
Excellent.
Yep.
So now both of these cost money to play on a monthly basis, I'm assuming?
Sword of the New World is free.
That's because one of them couldn't pay you to play it.
Yeah.
Is that where you pay more for enhanced content? Or
Well, you can pay more for more money.
Okay.
So, if you want to get more money, they'll be more than happy to let you buy
But you
money.
can earn money, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And also, it's very spammy in terms of spawns, but it also means because your guys kind of kick ass versus these spawns, you gain levels really fast. There's actually level 100 plus content on the map. But I played for a grand total of half an hour. My guys are level 10. So
That's better than Warcraft.
Not bad at all.
So it's way better than Warcraft. I mean, you need a knight to get to 10 in Warcraft. I mean, unless you're exactly the right grinds, but whatever.
Well, that's pretty good, and you've learned this off MMORPG.com.
Yeah, MMORPG.com actually has a lot of interesting stuff. Pretty much what I've decided for the world of MMOs right now is everybody's killing time until Warhammer.
Yeah, it seems to be the pinnacle.
Or when World of Diablo comes out.
Yeah,
Maybe. Never.
Well, the other sad thing on the MMO front is that all the perpetual developers for Star Trek Online got laid off.
So it has one I was actually looking forward to.
So does it have
Development hasn't stopped.
Development
It's
hasn't
just
stopped.
moved
It's
to a
just
different
they've
company.
moved it to a different thing, which actually kind of makes me wonder. On one hand, okay, so I'm going to be waiting at least another year for this game now. But on the other
Probably
hand,
2 to 3, but
they kind of the interface and stuff that they had been shown for Star Trek Online didn't look very Star Trek-y. Like the screenshots that they had and stuff, they didn't look like. I mean, I'm expecting L-cars here, buddies, and there wasn't L-cars to be found anywhere.
not a lot of expectations for Star Trek, really.
No,
Beyond
you need to have
L-cars and
L-cars.
replicators.
Yeah. I mean, really, you got to get those things, and they were already not getting those things. There was significant when they put up some screenshots for Star Trek Online back before Christmas. There was significant angst generated on the STO forums of, wow, that's really neat looking and all, but it doesn't look like Star Trek. Which, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but,
Maybe they were making a crappy game. Maybe that's why they're not making it anymore.
it could be. On the other hand, have you seen the screenshot for the 1701, the original 1701?
Yeah, for the movie? Yes, I
movie?
have.
I saw
Damn.
the teaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
freaking
nifty-looking ship.
Yeah.
I don't know how willing I'm going to be to accept different characters on the Enterprise, though.
Well, you'll just have to accept it, because half
Well,
of them are dead.
I mean,
This goes
it's
back to the
Did
days
it
of
have to be the
Starfleet.
Well, this is-
Enterprise?
this is
Couldn't
Star-
it have been a different ship?
this was the Academy
Academy
stuff, so,
days. Yeah, this is like pre-Starfleet.
yeah. I mean, this is when Pike hadn't even gotten on the ship yet. This was
Yeah.
earlier dudes. So
Nice.
It's going to be interesting. Kind of curious to see.
depends on the
Seidler-
script. I mean, if
See,
they have a good
s-
script for it, they could really pull it
Yeah,
off.
but it's an odd-numbered Star Trek movie.
Yeah, but that fell apart in TNG because all
Yeah.
those sucked. So,
I'm kind of curious to see Seidler as Spock too.
I mean, the only thing good about the TNG movies was hot Starship on Starship action and Nemesis. I mean, there was some cool Starship combat going on in Nemesis, but other than that, I can take or leave any of those. Well, I can for certainly leave First Contact, but the rest of those I can take. or
I
leave.
thought that was the good one.
First Contact?
Yeah.
No.
Despite
the one
its
with the Borg
continuity
chick?
issues.
Well, First Contact had some
I
major
mean, First
continuity
Continuity
issues.
had some bad continuity issues. It ruined the Borg. As a movie, it was the best of the TNG movies.
Well, it was.
which
If
isn't
it
saying
didn't
much.
have the horrible continuity problems, I wouldn't have minded it. But it, destroyed. It destroyed their best villain ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically made the Borg not mysterious,
yeah.
and also made them not a collective.
Yeah.
You turned them into bees instead of something ominous and anonymous.
Yeah, but it had to follow that same Hollywood formula.
Well, it had to follow Rick Berman screwing it in the ass.
That's Hollywood for you.
I mean, Rick Berman, he ruined Star Trek. I have nothing else to say.
What
about it.
phaser setting is that?
I don't know, but I mean, seriously.
Stunned beyond all
If-
recognition.
now,
There's a sodomy
who's
setup.
producing Star Trek now?
I don't know. I
We
can
have
look
to
it up.
We have to look up and
Probably
see
one
who's producing.
Rod or like Majel Roddenberry.
Well, she's been trying to all the time, but Rick is like, but, that's why Andromeda was actually. a good
Can I
show.
get some?
Yeah.
Can I get some Wikipedia
creative.
surfing music, please?
Same with the other one too, Earth
Final Conflict.
Final Conflict. That was good for a while.
Well, I got
Need
kind of
surf
confused
music
by.
if it's going to be like for Wikipedia
I don't think that's the music they're going to do. It's going to be Danny Elfman doing the Star Trek theme, but you'll get something.
No. No Danny Elfman for Star Trek. Well,
No, we need Van. What's
the
his
thing
name?
that killed me about Earth Final Conflict was that the first season, you're like, hey, all right, now I've kind of got to figure out, and then you watch the second one. If you skipped any of those episodes in there,
You're
kinda-
pretty much screwed.
Well, you're like, wait a minute, what happened to our original protagonist?
Yeah.
He's gone.
They
What
change
happened?
stars like every 3 episodes.
All right,
It's
all
like,
right,
what the hell?
The producer on it is J.J. Abrams.
Huh.
That's right, I knew that. Who's directing it?
J.J. Abrams.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay.
The
Anytime
creative
you
control.
do more than one thing, you're
yeah,
pretty much
the
screwed
creative
with something.
control's not doing too well here.
Well, consider J.J. Abrams' wonderful track credit.
Are there executive producers or anything like that?
No,
No,
but he did Armageddon as
that's-
the writer.
that's not so good. Who's the writer for this one?
Let me go back.
I don't care what else J.J. Abrams did.
Well, he just did Cloverfield.
That's not good.
Written by Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci. I don't know who these people are.
Me neither.
There's no executive producers listed?
Nope.
What? Really? There's got to
Not-
be some
not
executive
yet.
producers. It's got to be like Major Roddenberry or something.
Damon Lawrence Lindoff, who is the executive producer for Lost, the TV series.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
well, that lost me already.
Oh. Now I'm suddenly worried about the show.
I know.
Damn it.
It might be a little lost.
Damn it.
And that's all that's on him. So, well,
Could they get what's his name who did Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6 to do this one, please?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it doesn't involve treating the Enterprise like a submarine.
well, space is kind of like an ocean of a vacuum.
I mean,
kind of.
Well, yes, because that's exactly what they were trying to do in those
scream,
series.
yada yada yada.
That's why the visual representations and stuff, like the visuals for Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6 were so similar. So the same guy directed them, and he wanted
did a good job.
well, and he wanted to make it. He wanted them to be a submarine movies, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you pretty much is. You are
Well,
a
it is.
submarine in
It very
space,
much
and
is.
It really gives that naval feel. of it.
they really tried to make. He really always tried to make it look very claustrophobic in the hallways.
Yeah,
of the
as it
Enterprise.
should be.
So, since you were talking about Star Trek 6, I think it's due time for Steve to go off on a rant again about
the script problems.
yeah.
Oh.
Tell us about the emissions coming from
Yes. It's not so much the emissions; it's just the.
God, that was so stupid.
Well, it wasn't so stupid. It was just that it was
Hey, that thing's got to have a
impossible to do.
tailpipe,
Well,
right?
the tailpipe thing is fine. All that's
It
fine,
hurts right here.
except for the fact that the writers mixed up the the Excelsior and the Enterprise at the beginning of the script. Because at the beginning of the script, and I've said this a million times, so you'll probably get edited out anyway. At the beginning of the script, you've got Sulu on the Excelsior, and he's saying that they're mapping gaseous anomalies in Delta Quadrant or whatever. And they're like, okay, whatever. Well, then later on at the end of the movie, their Deus Ex Machina is Uhura saying, well, what about all that equipment we're using for mapping gaseous anomalies? Like, but that wasn't you.
That was
the other Excelsior. That was the other ship. Damn it.
They're not paying attention.
And I loved that. That movie was almost perfect for me in terms of just, having everything together until I noticed that one time I watched it. And I'm like, damn it. I've watched this movie too many times.
Sooner or later, you
ruined
the
it.
code.
And I also really, once again, must say that they really should have done Sulu's Excelsior series instead of doing, Enterprise and Voyager.
There's so
and
many
all like that.
possible spin-offs from this.
Well, he was lobbying that a lot.
Yeah.
He was lobbying after they did DS9. They wanted to have Sulu or George Takei as
God
an
knows it would have been better than Voyager.
was lobbying really hard for several years to get the Captain Sulu series made, and I think that would have been a lot better than.
That would have been, just fascinating, if only for having an actor who wanted to do this show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What a hard
Well, I think
veteran.
there's a lot of things he could do on that show. You're not limited to.
I don't like Star Trek, but I think I could do a better job at Star Trek than Rick Berman.
Well, dude, my left foot could do a better thing on Star Trek than Rick Berman did.
All right, is that it for the podcast?
I think it was up for the podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, because I don't have any. I don't have any real movie rants.
Game over, man. Game over.
Other
What'd
than
you make your boss?
other than the minor Blade Runner rant, I'll have to dispel later. I watched
Save
the
it.
director's cut. Yeah, I'll save it. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio.
Thank you for listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.